It's your host Sauce from the Viral Kingdom, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the Scuf versus the PS4 Back button. In particular, this Scuf is going to be the Scuf Infinity Pro. It's the PS4 edition of the Scuf, and I know a ton of you guys have been asking for this type of review, so that's why I'm bringing you guys this video today. Today's review is going to be a complete deep dive into a bunch of different categories like the price, customization, reliance, sound, customer support, all of that kind of stuff, all in this video. So make sure you guys do leave a like for this review. I would also like to mention that this video is completely unsponsored. My channel is relatively small, so I do not have a sponsorship from neither Sony or Scuf. This opinion is entirely mine, and this review is completely unbiased to either company. I'd also like to mention the time comparison I have using each product. This Scuf controller I've been using for the past 2 years, where this PS4 back button attachment I've only been using for about a month. So those were the two little disclaimers, and before we do get into the video, if you guys go down and leave a like on this video and maybe subscribe to the channel, as I post a ton of gaming reviews, tutorials, and all that good stuff, and it'd really help me out and let me know that you guys are digging the videos. Also, comment down below if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Anyways, let's get right into this review. So the first category that we're going to be going over is the customization, and there's a clear winner here. The Scuf is unreal when it comes to customizations. I don't think there's a better custom controller company that you can fully deck out your controller like the way you can with a Scuf. On this controller particular, I have a teal shell of pink buttons, different kind of sticks. On the back side, I have a military grip along with some trigger stops. There's just so much customization on this controller alone, and there's even more things you can add that I didn't even get. So when it comes to customization, the Scuf definitely is superior. With the PS4 back button, there really isn't much customization you can do. Every single one is a standard black, and when it comes to look and feel of the PS4 back button attachment, there's really not much you can do apart from the defaults. Now the next category being the user friendliness of these products, and I must say that both of them aren't very complicated to use or get the hang of. With the PS4 back button attachment, there's tons of reviews on YouTube, and it's just super simple to plug in. When installing, all you have to do is connect a plug into the port at the bottom of your controller, and it's as easy as that. Then once you want to change around the configurations, you can do that by just tapping left or right on the back button attachment, and that is all. That is how simple it is to use the PS4 back button attachment. Now when it comes to the Scuf installation, it's a little more confusing. When you do get the Scuf, you don't have to change anything, which is nice. However, if you do run into the problem where you might want to change your thumbsticks, it's going to require you to use this lock pad thing, and I didn't know how to use it at first, so it was a little confusing to get the hang of. I had to look up a tutorial. As well as the back buttons, if you ever want to take the paddles out and put them back in, they are kind of complicated to put back in, but once you know the method on how to put it back in, they're very simple to do. It just takes a little bit of practice. So I will say, when it comes to user friendliness, both of them are pretty user friendly. However, I would say the PS4 back button reigns in that category. The next category is the ultimate fit of the controller, and I must say that both these controllers fit my hands perfectly. When it comes to the Scuf, it does take a little bit to get used to the back paddle placement of your fingers, just because naturally you're going to be gripping your controller and not wanting to place two of your fingers on those paddles. However, it only takes like about a day to get used to at the very max. Like, it honestly took me a couple games to get used to, but once I played a few games through, I really got the hang of it. And when it comes to the PS4 back button attachment, same thing. I find it fits your hands perfectly. I have pretty big hands, and they just fit so nice. I feel like even if you had little hands and they went to like right here, it would still be nice. As you can see, I don't even hit the back button with my actual fingers. I hit them with like the middle index, like kind of where the knuckle is of the finger. So both controllers fit my hands beautifully, and I have no problems with that. The next category is a small one, but for some reason this is extremely important to a lot of people. Never really understood why, and that's the sound of the back paddles hitting. So I'm just gonna click this close to the microphone and see if it picks it up. So that was the Scuf. As you can hear, you barely hear anything. It's very quiet, it's very subtle, and it's not going to be loud. Now here's the PS4 back button attachment paddle. So as you can hear, the PS4 back button attachment paddle is a little bit louder. However, noise really isn't a big deal to me, and I know it's probably not a big deal to you, but for some people that can be a deal breaker, believe it or not. Now on to the next category, being the customer support. So when it comes to the PS4 back button attachment, since this is sold by Sony, you don't actually get the good customer support that you'd be expecting from maybe a smaller business, and it does suck. If your back button attachment breaks, you're just gonna have to buy a new one. There's no way you can repair it or get it fixed or contact customer support. Now Sony does have some support lines that you can contact, but there's not much they can really do unless it yields the 30-day warranty on the back button attachment. Now for the customer support on Scuf, there is tons of customer support. However, I wouldn't deem it the best. They do take a while to respond, and sometimes people have had very tough experiences with their customer support. Thankfully, I've only had decent experience with the customer support myself. However, I know there is a lot of people online who have serious issues when it comes to this company and their customer support. So that's definitely something to look into. So I don't really think there is a real winner on the customer support section. The next category is the reliance of these controllers. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I've had this Scuf controller for a little over 2 years now. And just kind of a brief history, when I first ordered this controller, it worked perfectly for the first year and about 2 months. Then suddenly the back button, one of the back buttons stopped working. So I sent it in for repairs and it got fixed. It came back, it was working perfectly. Then 2 months later, the exact same back button stopped working again. And that's where I'm at kind of today. I'm going to be sending this in for the 3rd time for the exact same reason, with this back paddle not working. So I must say, when it comes to Scuf, there are a lot of issues with the reliance of this controller. This is my 3rd time having this controller break on me, being the exact same problem. I know a lot of people have had issues with stick drift. Personally, I've had this for 2 years now and I have 0 problems with stick drift, and I do use it pretty heavily. However, this back paddle has broken on me 3 times. Not the paddle itself, but the actual button. It just becomes unresponsive for some reason. And this is the 3rd time it's happened. It's getting extremely annoying considering I have to pay about $20 to $30 Canadian every single time I want to get this back button repaired. And it's even more annoying that it's the same one. It's almost like they don't 100% fix it when I send it in for repairs and only aid the problem a little bit, so it maybe lasts a couple months and then breaks again. Now, when it comes to the reliance of the back button attachment, there isn't really much I can say. As I said, I've only had this for about a month now or so. From what I've read online, these have been pretty durable and no one's really had many issues with them breaking. So when it comes to reliance, I would definitely recommend the back button attachment. Now for the final category, being price, the Scuf is going to cost you at least $250 Canadian. I don't know what that is American, but I'm gonna assume that's somewhere around like $215 to $200. And $250 is just a crazy price to be paying for a controller, and is honestly probably one of the biggest deal breakers when it comes to the Scuf. Now, paying $250 one time doesn't sound too bad, but with the reliance of these controllers, it does make it a little sketchy paying that much money only to have the controller break 2 months in. And this is where I have the real issue with Scuf and all these other custom controller companies. The product's quality just isn't worth $250 in my personal opinion. Now, the PS4 back button attachment is only going to cost you around $30 to $40 Canadian. Now, you can make the argument that you also need to have a PS4 controller, but that's only going to cost you about $75. So in total, it's going to be costing about like $120 Canadian to get this whole set, which is nothing compared to the Scuf, which is charging you nearly double that, if not more. And like I said, guys, the Scuf's going to cost you at minimum $250 Canadian. That's not if you get all the custom attachments that you can get. This controller itself could literally cost you over $350 if you get every single customization possible. So guys, that's every single category comparing the two controllers. Now on to which controller I would recommend. And personally, I would say it depends on a case-to-case basis. If you are someone who's looking to go pro or looking to play at an amateur level in Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever game you play in, I would probably recommend the Scuf for you, just because there's so many additions that you can do, like adding trigger stops or just having this military grip to help with sweating when you're playing for long hours. I'd really recommend it. It is very pricey though, so if you are on a budget and you are looking to go pro, I wouldn't recommend it just because of how expensive it is. However, if you have a job, a part-time job, and you can afford this controller, I'd say go for it, try it out, because when it is working and your back paddles actually aren't broken, the controller feels amazing. I absolutely love this thing when it's not broken. It really does give you that competitive edge, and I can't say too many bad things about this controller other than its price and the quality of the product, which unfortunately are two really huge things when it goes into buying a controller. Now, if you were more of a casual gamer, however, you would like a step up over the competition, you're not really looking into competing in money tournaments, however, you'd like to play league play or begin your journey in some competitive, I would highly recommend just getting the back button attachment. You can always purchase a Scuf later on in your competitive career. However, this thing is not going to be costing you a lot of money, maybe $30 to $40 Canadian, and it is honestly fantastic for how much it costs. It does everything the same as the back paddles from the Scuf. However, it doesn't offer all the additional customizations that you can get with the Scuf. But if all you're looking for is just some back paddles and you're not really looking to go pro or anything, just to get a little bit of a competitive edge, I would highly recommend buying the PS4 back button attachment over the Scuf. I should also mention that this currently only works for the PS4 and not the PS5 controller. I'm sure most of you guys knew that already, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So guys, that's been my complete, honest, unbiased review on the two controllers. Please leave your comments in the comments section. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you are planning to purchase. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, leave a like on this video, and peace. See you guys later.